Before the game, in honor of the victims of the June 12th shooting in Orlando, both teams will line the base paths. Walt Weiss and I will bring a rainbow bouquet up and lay it at home plate. Billy Bean, the Vice President of Social Responsibility and Inclusion, will be our guest tonight, and this is all in honor of the victims. Many organizations, including the Magic, MLS, Orlando City, the Orlando Pride, ECHL, Orlando Solar Bears, the Orlando Predators, are joining forces to raise money, and the proceeds will go to oneorlando.org in honor of these families. This is the deadliest shooting in United States history. 49 victims, 53 wounded. A very sad day, and people are going through a very difficult time. So we will show our support tonight.
Thank you, Joe. Jack.
Joe, right-hander on the mound in Bettis, but no Ellsbury in the lineup.
Sick. Flu.
So your expectation is maybe it's a one-day thing for him?
I hope so. Obviously, he's waiting to see the doctor, but he has a stomach virus of some sort, so he has not been able to keep anything down today. So we'll just have to see where he is tomorrow.
Did you find that out today, or did he give you a heads up? How did you find out?
When he got to the ballpark today.
You're home for 9 days. A lot of teams look at that as a chance to gain some steam, get going. What are your thoughts about these 9 games?
Well, I think it's really important that we do that, that we get over this hump that we haven't been able to seem to get over a few times, the over 500, and stay there. And, you know, as we talk about, our team is built for our ballpark, and it's important that we play well.
Joe, Nova has to face the Rockies again. He had the one bad inning in his last start. What are the challenges of having to face a team twice in less than a week?
Well, they're pretty familiar with what you got. They don't necessarily forget, and the chances of you changing your repertoire much is not very common. So, but for him, I mean, he threw a pretty good ball game. He got in trouble the one inning where he made some mistakes with his fastball, and they got to him. But if he keeps the ball down and has his good sink and his curveball, he should be able to give us some distance, I hope.
Joe, Hal Steinbrenner was interviewed yesterday by a bunch of outlets in which he said that if the Yankees stay healthy, he believes they have a good shot or a shot for the postseason. What's your thought on that?
Well, I agree. I mean, I think health is the first thing that you have to stay and remain healthy during the course of a season. But we have to play better. We have to be more consistent. We have to stay out of, you know, winning 5 and losing 4, that sort of thing. Continue to win series and take advantage of being home for 9 days.
George.
Joe, no Davis? Is there a problem there? Or?
No, I'm just playing ref today.
Randy in the middle here.
I noticed that Ellsbury had a big ice pack on one of his, covered one of his foot after last game. That's nothing. I don't know if he fouled a pitch.
Well, he fouled the pitch off, but that has nothing to do with today.
And he had a slow start. Can you just talk about what he's meant to the team during this stretch? Or you guys played pretty well?
Well, I think he's a big reason we have gotten back to 500 in a lot of instances. What he's done offensively, I think we were 8 or 9 games down, and he got pretty hot and was on base and was scoring a lot of runs, and he's continued to do that. And that's really important for an offense. I mean, he sets the tone, so we need him to continue to play well.
Chad.
So Teixeira's still playing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Most guys in his situation who have his track record, if they get through 3 games healthy, that's all you need to see. Do you need to see anything different with him, just the type of year that he's had and kind of the stretch he was going through before the injury?
No, I mean, I think the big thing is that he feels comfortable on his leg, that he can do everything that he needs to do, and just to get some at-bats under his belt. But as far as the production, yeah, you'd love for him to feel good coming out of that, but it's different when they go play down there. It's a different mental test in a sense. So the big thing is that he comes out healthy.
Who else? John in the middle.
Joe, I know it's mostly a function of the schedule that you guys are recognizing the shooting today, but is there almost a positive in a sense of being able to do it a week later, in a sense that this isn't something that goes away right away? This is something that's still on our minds and will be, and is on the team's minds.
Yeah, I think it's good to continue to bring light of what these families are going through, what the city of Orlando is going through, and not to forget. I think too many times in our country, we have tragic incidents, we pull together and are really strong, and then all of a sudden we start to drift apart again, and we go about our normal lives and we forget. And I think it's important that we don't forget and that we remain close as a country.
Anthony, do you have a hand up? Yep.
Joe, this year, maybe more than ever in recent memory, there's been the opinion out there that you guys should sell at the deadline if things aren't going your way and you're not in first place and all that sort of thing. So is it meaningful in any way to hear what Hal, to hear what Hal said yesterday about hanging in there and thinks that you guys can contend?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Hal myself, and I understand, why people might say that. But Hal has belief in this club. I have belief in this club, and we have to go out and do it. That's the bottom line. Belief is not enough. You have to go out and produce. So, but it's nice having an owner that always believes in us.
Mark, front.
That said, Joe, the idea that you have a couple of big players with expiring contracts, and Chapman and Beltran, among others, do you look at it as you have 4 weeks to get where you need to be in terms of contention, or there's a chance that you will become sellers for the first time in a long time, or is that urgency just? I mean, you always talk about the urgency is always there, but
Yeah.
Is there a bit of a clock on it now because of the fact that you could be in that situation?
Some people might look at it that way. I don't know what today is, the 21st, so the trading deadline is about approximately 6 weeks away, and obviously you need to put yourself in a position to be in competition for those spots, or some people are going to say sell. So yeah, there's a sense of urgency because, as I've talked about, you start to run out of months, and the way this team was constructed was to get a lead and turn it over to our bullpen, and we have to get better at it.
Sweeney and Wally.
Joe, do you feel like there's anything you could say to your owner to convince him one way or the other, or do you feel it's really just up to the way your team plays?
I think it's the record that's going to be the biggest reason that we aren't sellers. That we get back in this race and that we play better, more consistently, and we win more in our division, because we're going to have a lot of games in our division when you look at the second half, a lot. So I think it's important that we start to make a run.
Wally.
Joe, obviously, that situation hasn't happened since you've been here, but I'm sure you've been part of teams that have sold at the deadline. Give us an idea of what it's like as a player or as a manager when a team basically says we're giving up at the trade deadline.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating, but I think, I really haven't been in the situation a lot. I haven't. As a manager, I've really never been in it. As a player, maybe a little bit, but that was a long time ago, so I don't remember. But you don't want that feeling. You want to feel like you're always in contention and that you have a shot, because that's the reason we put the uniform on. So that's frustrating when that happens.